Since November of 2024, I have been busy building my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2. Isle of Discovery with so many different roller coasters, rides and separate themed areas, all coming together to make probably too big of a park. But in the last episode, we made a start on the final themed area in the park and built an Intamin Giga Coaster, which is the tallest and fastest at Isle of Discovery. But we didn't build any of the surrounding area, so in this episode today, I'm going to start building the entire area itself with the pathway into it and a huge plaza area with the start of a brand new dark ride and 3 different flat rides, 2 of which have been heavily requested for so long now. And the final area is starting to come along nicely, so be sure to watch till the end so you can see what I have done so far. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. And you would probably appreciate me actually getting on with the time lapse and talking about what's going on. So welcome back to episode 30 of Isle of Discovery. We're only one episode away. After this one, the final episode will release, well, the final construction episode anyway, and then the park is complete and we're going to tour around it. There's going to be a video with all the POVs of all the different rides, rides you haven't seen maybe for quite a while or haven't seen fully finished, I don't know. Loads of stuff is going to come out once this park is done, and then the park will release as well. Very exciting times, but also very sad times to see this series ending. But with that comes the final themed area you can see me making right here. I will be honest with you, this episode, a lot of the area is still incomplete because, well, I've been away. If you didn't know, you might have seen my other series this past week in theme parks. It wasn't on last week, so it's now no longer the most consistent series ever. So I obviously didn't have time to also make an Isle of Discovery episode, and as I always say, I don't want to rush this series, so it was a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do, I can't really get an episode out. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for an episode for ages now, and I do apologise for the delay, but I didn't want to release a video where I've just built some pathways and some random flat rides, and that is it, because that is barely an update. I wanted some theming in there, which is why, also because I've been away, this episode is very weirdly structured compared to normal, because once again, like I've done with previous areas in this park and also with previous episodes of other parks I'm making or recreations or whatever, building it has been a bit of a nightmare for time-lapse footage capturing, because I have literally built it over so many different days. Usually when I build like the coasters or the rides or the theming, I sit down in one sitting and do a lot of it. Maybe I do a couple other sessions where I do sit down and, you know, actually build quite a bit of it for multiple hours. I just haven't had the time to do that. So a lot of this has been sort of chopped up and, oh, I'm doing this then, and then next day I'll do, oh, only a small bit, and then it's just all over the place. So I haven't managed to capture a lot of time-lapse footage of me building the theming in this area, which I know a lot of you guys do want to see, and I do apologise for that. There is still a lot of theming to go. I mean, I haven't done the entire station area, the queue line for that main Giga Coaster yet. There might even be some more rides that I need to theme up. The theming I've done already isn't finished either, so there is a lot of work to do. And you'll see it when we go into real time later on, and that is going to happen a lot sooner than normal. We're not going to be yapping for 20 minutes straight and then going into real time. This is only about 9 minutes of time lapse, so those of you who like that sort of video, you're welcome. But those of you who want more time lapse, next episode, come back and watch that one as well as this one, because there is still a lot to go through here. Because as you can see, I am looking at different rides that I can add into this area. Now at first I thought, oh, I could have another coaster. I thought that was a bad idea straight off the bat, so I decided to put in some flat rides, and I was trying to find some flat rides that would suit the theme we're going for, and a teacups worked. We have a teacups already in the Viking theme land. What's wrong with having 2 teacups rides? You know, you can theme them up differently, you can have different show effects on it, you can have one that's outdoors and one that's indoors. Very much what the case is with this one, and I feel like we have enough difference in the theming to make sure no one thinks, oh, it's the same ride. So hopefully that doesn't happen if it were a real park. So we're joining that up to the pathway. You can sort of tell this entire episode so far, I've just been laying out all the pathways like I usually do with every single area I make. We make a coaster and then we make the layout of the pathways. And then I thought, what about a drop tower? I thought about putting in the Wild West, maybe making like some mineshaft-esque ride, but I thought, that's not really the Wild West area. We don't want too tall of a ride again in that area. We're making a massive sort of themed land all about this huge roller coaster right at the back, because that's going to be the main storyline of this entire area. So why not have the drop tower or drop towers in the area as well? And as you can see, we're placing them here. They're going to be sort of a green color scheme. We're sort of going for that purple and green. I like that. But with a castle around the bottom of that structure, and then we're going to have some sort of electricity theming around that eventually, because it should cut. Oh, there we go, perfect timing. You can see some theming already going in. I explained it last time, I think, in brief detail, but my idea for this area is that the big coaster at the back is some sort of experiment of some kind. And I know I've seen a lot of name suggestions in the previous episode. I haven't decided on a name just yet, because we need to get some theming in, and then obviously if you have any ideas today when I explain the theme even more in depth, that would be great to see in the comments, so leave that below. I want that to be the main focal point of this experiment that's happening, and it's taking over this medieval looking village. And the people of the village are not happy about it, and you can see like protests and everything going on. You can just see like sci-fi equipment everywhere. They're trying to take it over, and there's scaffolding on some turrets that are turning into these like robot towers and everything. I just thought it'd be a really nice way of making a different sort of themed area with the two newest-esque themes, because this actually was recorded before I even had the fairy tale update, which obviously has loads of castle pieces in it, so I somehow managed to make castles without that, but they look so much better now since then, and since upgrading them. You may have just seen me build an entire dark ride and not even consider it whatsoever when I'm talking, but I thought I'd take you through the layout whilst I actually sort of rotate it round and rotate the cars round. Pretty much, again, I want this dark ride to be the story of the area. I want you to be able to go on this dark ride and find out about this sci-fi organization that really wants to turn this area into like a research facility, and they're doing all these tests around, and the medieval village itself, everyone's not happy about it. It's sort of like a revolution taking over, but in a futuristic way, and no one's a fan of it in the medieval town that it's in. So that's the sort of thing I'm going for. Maybe it's a cool idea, maybe not. So far it's worked. Again, not totally finished yet. Very electricity based. So there's going to be a lot of electricity, a little bit like Voltron and a little bit like Frankenstein, whatever it's called. What is it called at Epic Universe? Oh, how have I forgotten? Monsters Unchained, that's the one, the Frankenstein experiment, that sort of vibe, where it's like a very medieval castle looking thing, but there's a lot of electricity and futurism. Futurism, is that a word? Futuristic nature around it. So that's the sort of plan with that. There is a lot of trees and a lot of like lakes and things underneath the main coaster as well. Again, you won't see that in this time lapse. We're literally less than a minute away from going into real time. That is how messed up I've managed to make these just lack of time lapse footage, which again, I apologize for. Won't happen next episode and won't happen in the next series. We're going to talk about what's coming next a lot towards the end of this video, and also next episode and the one after when we're touring, because I have some exciting plans, and it's very different from what Isle of Discovery is, but it will keep that creativity and that sort of budget per se. I mean, without further ado, let's go into real time. You join me here at Isle of Discovery, probably for one of the final times we see this view. Because yeah, the park is almost complete, if I haven't said it already. And I've managed to build so many different areas, so many different themes, and it has been such a cool project. But of course, the tallest in the park is no longer the one at the back over there, but the one over there. That is still an absolutely absurd view. And I mean, it gets even crazier the closer you get to it. But as you can see, once again, a very unfinished look, because there is still a lot to do with this new area, and even still in the Wild West, which again, I will get sorted, I promise. We traverse from this gravel stone path to the cobbles, and we enter in to a lovely little wood section with some turrets, and you can see this huge roller coaster at the back just towering over everything. You can see these electricity cables running over. That's sort of the sci-fi part of it, and the fact they're taking over and trying to do these experiments with all this electricity. And then you get this really cool view of the entrance archway that is going to be your gateway into this area, which does need a name, by the way. So if you can think of a medieval town, or maybe if there's a bit of sci-fi in the name, I don't know, but I'm sure you guys can come up with some great ideas, because you always do. But my favorite reveal of this entire area is when you walk under these gates, and well, let's let the lifeguard walk by. There's no water parks this way. What are you doing? You walk through the gates, and as you can see directly in front, you can just see the huge Giga Coaster directly in the background, which is why I think that being themed to an experiment taking over this village is a perfect idea, because this entire village right now that you can see, it's taken over. But over on the left here, we have this nice little archway, and that will actually enter you into a restaurant over here. I thought I'd put one in here, but obviously it's not complete yet. More mechanical stuff over here. You've got even more over here. This is like their main hub for the experiment. Up there, you can see some dirt on the walls. Maybe they've tried to like protest and throw things at it, or try to destroy it, and it's destroyed the walls. Then further on the left, there is a castle archway right here that will take you up some stairs towards those two shot and drop towers. As you can see, you'd walk up those stairs and then turn left and then turn right, and you would be at this little covered section here, which would be the entrance to the shot towers. Right here is the exit door that would be used for both platforms, but obviously the game doesn't like that, so I've had to make it exit another way, and oh, this is so dumb. And some of the views you get when you shoot up out of that shot tower, look how cool that view is of the park. And I think if we go around one more, they might not let us. No! If we go around here to our left, you can see the Giga Coaster itself as well. So cool. I do love the fact that it is slightly on the hillside. It sort of makes it look way taller than it actually is, because once again, compared to the Giga Coaster, it doesn't look tall at all. If you were to come down from those stairs, then you would see even more sci-fi equipment that's being used for this experiment. And as you can see, these banners will soon be changed to like protests and stuff, like get out. They've got all the cables running everywhere, some sort of storage stuff up there, and then you've got this archway right here, which takes you through a more peaceful part of the village. Again, not fully complete just yet, but you can see more of the coaster surrounding you. You've got these nice little stairwells up here, which I do need some netting to block you from touching the track. You've got a lovely little seating area over here with some fast food venues, and then you've got that teacups that we made over here. Once again, nothing special, but it's within these castle walls around it, and you can see it sort of like spinning round. And the thing that is different about this one is the fact that the Viking one does have a roof on it, and as much as it's a similar circular shaped building, that roof does sort of enclose it a lot more. This one is completely outdoors, and I think that makes it quite nice, because we've also got a little fountain show spinning round in the center with all the different teacups, if you can even call half of them teacups. But if we go back to the view of walking into the area, we've got even more theming off to the right this time, with a turret in the background that's got scaffolding on it. There's a lot of repeating sort of patterns here with the cables and everything, but I think it works because it shows that they are just taking over this village. And this archway right here is actually going to be a main gift shop. With the new update, I haven't actually delved into it too much yet, but you can make proper gift shops, which I think is amazing. So the exit to the dark ride will be through there, and you will also get to see loads of different souvenirs and plushies of drop tower. Continuing round once again, more theming. You've got some theming over there as well, and then up there you've even got the view of the non-inverting cobra roll. That looks insane. And this right here will be the entrance to that story dark ride that you can sort of see going around in there. A trackless dark ride, even though it's running on a track. And then straight down here through this archway is where you will head when you enter the main area of the coaster, which will be down here, because the plan is to have this huge centerpiece of the ride directly in front of you and have the entrance archway, or sort of a lot of theming around here with the entrance, so that the queue line can make its way all the way through the woods and sort of through like castle buildings and everything into a main interior building over here, which is where there may even be a pre-show, and then you'll be able to enter the ride on this side. But all of that will come in the next episode, because yeah, as you can see, the left hand side, even with the sort of foliage and the shrubbery between the sort of elements of the coaster, that has all been done now, which I think it looks really nice actually. You can definitely tell what I've completed and what I haven't touched yet. But we will be doing that in the next episode, and I'll try my best to film as much of that as possible, unlike this time, which again, sorry for that, because there is a lot to do, such as finishing the dark ride and theming that up, and of course adding any extra rides and finishing the park as a whole. I genuinely still can't believe when I say that we are towards the end of Isle of Discovery. It doesn't look like it where I am right now, but that's where the water park was. Any PC players, if you want to download that, you can use the code here. That is the penultimate episode of me building Isle of Discovery, because next episode will be the final construction part. And from that point, like I said, we will be touring the park and doing an opening day vlog, I guess. There'll be POVs of all the rides compiled into one video. There'll be so much content to come from the finale of this series. As we move on to the next park, which I will say for now, I'll give you a couple hints I guess, will be connected to Isle of Discovery in some way or another, so whether that be a similar company that owns the park, or in similar budget with the theming and everything, but the theming itself and the rides we're going to go for in that park are going to be very, very different to what you've usually seen in this game. And that is all I'm going to say. I'll be giving more info next time and in the next few episodes of just touring the park and showing it off as we release the park on the workshop as well. So subscribe so you don't miss that and so you don't miss the next episode where we build more of this area here. Thank you for watching.